Hello, dear friends. There are groups that hold opposing viewpoints, but both are saying they are absolutely right, while the other is wrong. This deeply divides people. Opinion piece, wealth transfer, boomerang effect, collapse operation, biblical story of Esther, hidden layer beneath reality, perfect storm of metals, liberation of sovereign wealth. Let's start. A wealth transfer refers to the process of massive redistribution of funds and assets through a new financial system and the implementation of gold-backed currencies. Holy Celiano and Mayhem Mel discuss a major wealth transfer focusing on a global financial restructuring and currency revaluation. They highlight signs such as stable budgets, debt repayment, and floating currencies as indicators of a new financial system, and express optimism about the progress in Iraq and other countries. Wealth transfer refers to the process by which financial assets, property, or other economic resources are transferred from one person to another through fair mechanisms. Holy and Mel describe this transfer as the moment when currency investors receive their payment through Forex. Once budget reforms, debt payments, and the transition to a quantum currency are completed. They emphasize that this transfer is not just a generational inheritance, but a reset that destroys corruption and liberates sovereign wealth. Collapse. Juan Osabin presents the current moment as a coordinated operation of collapse and reversal, similar to the Book of Esther, where critical vulnerabilities are exposed while a reaction is being prepared, in a spiritual battle where a part of the world has been infiltrated and used to support agendas contrary to the divine will. This operation describes a plan to destabilize multiple systems, followed by a providential reversal, where the evil plans backfire on their authors, as in the biblical story of Esther. Esther, a young Jewish orphan, was elevated to Queen of Persia without revealing her origins, when the vizier Haman plotted a genocide against the Jews of the empire. Esther exposed the conspiracy to King Ahasuerus, who discovered Haman's treachery, completely reversing the situation. Juan Osabin uses this as a metaphor for simultaneous attacks planned by adversaries, striking for all sides to overwhelm and paralyze, aligned with prophecies of crisis. The reversal of the script, or the boomerang effect, is the twist where the source uses positions of power and the mistakes of the wicked to reverse the disaster. This implies that the fraud and manipulations are reaching a critical point where power will be turned, exposing the infiltrators. Osabin says that an intelligent enemy doesn't strike on just one front, but coordinates simultaneous attacks so that society can't react. That's why many leaders are worried about electromagnetic pulses or cyber attacks, since there can't be a free society without an stable infrastructure. In his view, the hidden plans of the wicked will eventually backfire, generating a significant shift in power through legal proceedings and arrests. Interesting. Folklore links the Incas to ancient Cambodia. Scientists discovered a hidden layer beneath reality. The magnitude 6 earthquake on the Juan de Fuca ridge was caused by the rise of the actual submarine volcano. Google leverages email and YouTube history to power its personalized AI. US scientists discover possible past life on Mars. The William Herschel telescope finds a bar-shaped iron cloud in the Ring Nebula. NBC reports that residents of Bensalem, Pennsylvania, are shaken by unexplained lights and loud explosions. Eric Davis claims that former President Bush confirmed the first contact in 1964. Electric universe. Thousands of years ago, a cluster of planets floated in the ancient sky, causing electrical discharges upon our ancestors and inspiring the world's vast complex of myths and symbols. Full thought summary. Armed militias of thugs called colectivos are setting up roadblocks in Venezuela and searching vehicles, according to Benjamin Fulford. Maduro left the country's oil infrastructure in ruins and did nothing to rebuild it. Prices have continued to rise, with inflation reaching 130,000% in 2018. Feeding oneself has become difficult. Millions of Venezuelans have emigrated or even fled the country. The EU is likely to collapse in March. However, that could happen sooner, judging by the massive peasant protests. AFD leader Alice Weidel said, "The EU must be abolished and its bureaucrats expelled." Canadian farmers and truckers are also organizing protests aimed at overthrowing their government. Meanwhile, doctors in Canada are calling for a state of emergency due to a shortage of physicians. Canada also needs to free itself from an economic system designed solely to extract money from the people on behalf of a small elite. Former Jewish soldiers are hiding in Argentine Patagonia, according to Sebastián Salgado. Breaking news. Russia tells Trump to back off Iran, threatening retaliation. Trump is outraged with Elon Musk after the Starlink network was blocked in Iran. Iran announces 3,000 arrests during protests in the country. With protests crushed, Iran seeks to avoid a US intervention. Reza Pahlavi asks Trump for an intervention in Iran to overthrow the government. Economy. The world is entering a phase of economic crisis. The demand for silver has never been higher, and its supply has never been lower. Has never been as high as now, The silver shortage could cause a market implosion, according to Bill Holder. China's invasion of Taiwan could be a black swan event for the markets. Perfect storm for metals. Geopolitics pushes mining companies toward 5-year highs. Something has clicked in the gas market this week, from calm to the biggest price increase in more than 2 years. Europe. European exports to the US plummet as trade stagnates. Trump identifies the roadblock to a ceasefire between Ukraine and Russia. Called Zelensky. France will deploy troops to Greenland at Denmark's request. European countries have to buy weapons from the US to defend Greenland from the US because they have given everything to Ukraine, according to Gabe. A group of British experts admits that the Western alliance is over. Could Greenland trigger a currency crisis in Europe? Asks Roberto Casado. Spain will have 1,659 foreign workers by 2025 due to the influx from Venezuela and Colombia. Americas. The Mexican peso closes at almost 18 units per dollar, its best level in a year and a half. Delcy Rodriguez announces changes in her cabinet. My call with Trump was long, productive and courteous, says Delcy Rodriguez. Maria Corina Machado says that Delcy Rodriguez only follows Trump's orders and does not represent Venezuela. Machado wants to dismantle the structure of terror in Venezuela before the elections. The CIA director traveled to Venezuela to meet with Delcy Rodriguez. Bolivia broke the record for conflicts in 2025. Ecuador deployed 10,000 soldiers in 3 western provinces. The IMF maintains its confidence in Argentina despite challenges in accumulating reserves. Milei deepens Argentina's trade liberalization while industry declines. Milei takes Argentina's annual inflation to its lowest level in 8 years. Brazil will produce more than 182 million tons of soybeans in 2026. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.